Conceded to us, number 5 on counter plan that we use clarification that we use lead. It's conceded by the neg block, meaning we will clarify that we use lead. There's no justifies permanent counter plan because it's functionally the same. No reason to go negative to the point where the plan counter plan are the same. And extend across the number 6 argument that the evidence of nothing indicates that the reactor itself will explode even if the sodium explodes because the thorium requires a particle beam in order to sustain a chain reaction. Thorium is not a naturally fissile material, meaning there's no risk of melting because that's not how the science works. Another evidence, all their evidence assumes uranium, which is why you're going to put our Dean evidence over there. Just drop down to number 10 argument, we're an ADS reactor. They still, so their normal means evidence won't apply here. They say we're still a fast breeder reactor, and we use sodium, but this isn't true. You're going to contextualize our plan text within the context of our Dean evidence, which indicates that the ADS reactors we employ only use thorium, not uranium, which means their normal means evidence isn't going to apply in this debate.
Did you need severance for a moment? Did you read this?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go back up to severance. I forgot. She says severance bad. However, it's the best policy. It's the best policy option. If the best policy option, the best policy app -1 my utility is going to affirm it. 2, keeping actually neg block bias. We need to protect the 1 area. And 3, if it's topical, it's our ground. And 4, CS is going to check abuse. They could have asked what type of cool we have in order to get their pick ground, but they didn't. And the firm is legit as long as we don't sever out of plan claims necessary for solvency. He says our financial times is an impact in the axis. However, our financial times is descriptive of the current global food insecurity and that current regimes are being overthrown, provoking tensions and wars to the food insecurity, which means we're going to control uniqueness on the food prices today at the point where these regimes are being overthrown. The people, the incentives for agriculture they assume from high food aren't going to have because these regimes will be replaced by militaristic ones that are really going to work. That's a Calvin O2 impact evidence in the 1AC. He says it's going to save Russia. However, we're going to control the internal interest because at the point where we stop the food wars, then these are going to happen before Russia can lash out because these food wars are happening right now. When you leave the food crisis, I would prefer our 1AC solvency evidence because it's a lot more specific to our case than theirs. And then additionally, reading China evidence again, we're going to control the internal links of regime collapse because hungry Chinese farmers are currently going to rebel in the status quo according to Financial Times evidence and evidence. So it's going to our time frame is a lot faster than theirs. Onto the desalination debate. He says there's not enough. This first piece is not enough resource. However, cost supply. Our bond or micro evidence and this evidence is specific to India. How India is specific to India, and he says it's inefficient. 15%. However, it's enough at the point where India rural areas currently get 0 water from the coast, which means we're going to always win the best internal link into our water evidence. They don't read any evidence. Politics. Extend the non-unique, the number 1, the non-unique. Our Wall Street Journal market article evidence indicates that Obama's plans in the stimulus are going to expand nuclear power in the status quo, and that the majority of power plant construction is going to happen right now. None of their uniqueness analysis assumes it's the point where Obama is going to keep consistently increase nuclear power during the course of his presidency. There's no reason why the plan is going to be unique, and there's no reason why our plan uniquely links. Drop down to number 4 argument. It doesn't pass for 5 reasons. They're conceding. There's Democratic turf wars argument that Kennedy and other Democrats they're going to perceive trade-offs with other programs, and this is why the Democrats are not unified. This is why our link turn is going to solve. Drop down to our link turns bipartisanship at the point where thorium is a popular idea. At the point where thorium is a good idea, once it passes, the politicians they're not going to need more concessions because they'll view the plan as a concession, which stops the debate on the incentives. He says, which answers her incentives argument. She says it costs political capital for our evidence. Our evidence indicates thorium is one of their pet projects, and it's going to help with just political capital, and it circumvents their polycap links because this proves political capital won't be necessary in a world of our plan. And it goes by this number 7 argument. It's a no link. The view is already appropriate funding. Our plan goes through the Department of Energy. There's only going to be a risk of a link turn once our plan passes. Because the DOE does this, and other senators can't ask for this as a concession on their pet projects. Biotech. Number 2 arguments, you see this Bandari evidence. Other countries will pursue biotech unsafely. They're all their arguments saying why biotech is good aren't going to apply, nor will these countries pursue biotech for their own self-interest and don't have any regulations, which means we're going to control uniqueness to all of our terms. He says bees and they access it better. However, there's no reason why they access better. Our evidence indicates that their bees are going to extinct now because of biotech. And on the number 4 argument, the bioterror argument, this is agri-terror, but there's no impact agri-terror. Our evidence is specific to biological weapons, and our evidence is going to assume the development of biotech, and their evidence assumes the implementation of biotech, where ours assumes the No, their evidence assumes that biotech solves, our evidence assumes the implementation of biotech. So
It also short circuits any of the net
short circuits any of
benefits
the
too.
net-
Means they
benefits.
won't
They can
access
see
the
the
moral
multiple
obligation.
extinction impact, which would be independent extinction impact to the
5 months.
set.